Hey there guys, what's going on today? So, excuse me. So this is another putty video. This one though is not Crazy Aaron putty, but unicorn poop, magical, mystical, and sparkly. Get your hands on it. Mold it by Toysmith. Ages 5+. Excuse me. And you get 1.23 ounces, 38 grams. So yeah, this is rare and wondrous. Your unicorn poop can melt, stretch, and bounce. Marvel at its magical glory. Toysmith again down here, and I got this at a place called Francesca's. I was hanging out with my friend and his wife and at the mall the other day, and she went into this place called Francesca's, so we were pretty much tagging along, and they had a toy section, surprisingly. It was like more of a gift section, I guess you could say, and they had putty. So they had a Crazy Aaron one, which I will be reviewing. That one was the Good as Gold, I believe, which surprisingly was one of the few I didn't have, but I got lucky and picked it up. And this one, so they were the last two putties that they had, so I figured, alright, what the hell. I've seen this on Amazon and on eBay. I think I've seen a few unboxing videos on it, but I figured, what the hell. It was like, how much was it? I think it was $6. So I probably paid too much for it, but what the hell. So let's check this putty out and see how it is. Never opened, obviously. I wanted to wait until the video. Okay, so move that to the side. Get a better look at the putty itself. One unique thing right off the bat that I noticed, it kind of looks, I noticed, alright, little glittery on the bottom, like pinkish. Kind of reminds me of that Crazy Aaron Easter color. It was like an Easter pink several years back. But anyway, one thing that I noticed right off the bat is the case. The container has this little convenient, yeah, I guess you could say knob or lever or whatever. I don't know. Like some of them you gotta really twist and it's a pain in the butt, especially if it's warm and the putty sticks to it, or if it's been, you know, melting on one side. So it does come wrapped too. So not only is it packaged, but it's also wrapped in this nice little plastic here. So good to have some extra protection there. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, alright, see what I mean? You can just easily do that. Alright. Oh. Okay, so, alright. So, right off the bat, I can tell you it is not a part of it dried out on, so I'm guessing this will dry out if you leave it out of the container. It's not like this actually feels more like a, okay, so this is definitely not like the Five Below putty. This is more of a, okay, this is definitely more along the lines of a slime kind of putty. It's very wet. It feels wet and heavy. It is kind of cool though if you want to do the transparent window, if you want to stretch it. It kind of smells like that that fishy type of smell, you know, that like the original, you know, the flop putty. You know, it's kind of got that wet feel into it, and it feels more like fart putty, to be honest with you. You could somewhat shape it. I mean, you could also squeeze it though. Obviously, it's like a 0 to 10 softness to hardness. It's like, you know, super soft, insanely soft. You can kind of shape it. It's not quite as malleable and sculptable as putty though. This is more along the lines of a firmer slime, but not really a putty, if that makes sense. Yeah. Although it does bounce, which is surprisingly good for a slimy like putty. Yeah, so yeah, I would say this is like almost a cross between a very soft, slimy putty and a slime. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if you can tell from the video here, but you can do a transparent window, which is pretty easily. And it's pretty strong too. I mean, you got to really, tear it. So I mean, it's interesting to play with. That's for sure. Definitely different. I mean, it says you can mold it though, so I don't know. Let me try to mold it here. Not really. I mean, maybe a little bit. Definitely can't mold it and sculpt it as well as a normal putty. So it bounces, it stretches. Let's see how it makes bubbles. Alright, so it definitely pops a little bit. Just roll it here. See, if you tear it, it tears into like this, it's kind of like that, what is it, the mud putty or whatever, Like I said, this is more of a slime, kind of like partially putty, but not quite putty. It's very slippery and like wet feeling, and yeah, it's nothing like Crazy Aaron or even Silly Putty for that matter. I mean, it will bounce surprisingly, because usually this slimy stuff doesn't really bounce, but this one, surprisingly, it bounces. So, see how it tears. Ooh, a piece of it fell on the floor. Okay, just put that back in there. Tears easily, stretches easily. You can do the transparent window, it bounces. Sculpting, not really, not so much. I mean, yeah. Let's see, what else? I have a little smiley star here, so let's see how it ink peels. Alright. Kind of ink peels. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Let me bring it up to light here. See the star right where my thumb is. So it kind of ink peels. It does, but it's really hard to see. You can stretch it. I would say this putty is the best for if you just want to bounce it a little bit, squeeze something easy and stretch it, and you want to do the transparent window. See, I'm literally putting it over the lens right now, and you can still see through it. See my hand? So yeah, I mean, for what it is, I would rate it about an 8 out of 10, I guess. Maybe like a 7 or 8 out of 10. The bad news is I wouldn't leave this out of the container because it will definitely dry out. I could just tell because it's very moist and wet feeling. So, but is it worth the $6? No. I would say this is worth maybe 2 or 3 at most. Yeah, but I mean, if you wanted to maybe do like some poking ASMR sounds, probably sound better in the container actually. A lot of people like to do that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is, right? It's hard to stretch. I mean, you could do it if you do it slowly, otherwise it's going to tear. So, if you want to, I don't know, put it in like a ring or something. Yeah. So yeah, that would be my review of the unicorn poop magical putty. Actually, now that I look at it, it doesn't even say putty. It doesn't say slime either. It just says magical unicorn poop. But it's kind of like I would say an in-between. Not many products that are like that, but I would say this is an in-between slime slash putty. It's not really quite one or the other. If I had to say which one it leaned more towards, I would say a slime, honestly. But yeah, definitely not a putty. It's too dense, and it's not really, well, you could tell just by watching this video. But as I said, you know, for what it is, it's whatever. So that's the magical unicorn poop putty slash slime from Toysmith. And you can find it on Amazon if you want, or probably your local toy shop or something. I would rate it, my final verdict would be a 7 out of 10. Okay? So comment, rate, subscribe, guys, and I'll see you later. Stay tuned.